The lights of Jimmy Kimmel Live were shining bright in Hollywood, promising another night of laughs, celebrity charm, and lighthearted banter. But what unfolded was no ordinary talk show segment. It was a fiery, emotional clash that left the audience speechless and the internet in a frenzy. Julia Roberts, the Oscar-winning queen of the silver screen, beloved for Pretty Woman, Erin Brockovich, and her megawatt smile, walked onto that stage expecting a warm welcome. Instead, she stepped into an ambush that would ignite one of the most explosive confrontations in late-night history. Accusations flew, truths were laid bare, and by the end, one star was asked to leave the set. This is the full, unfiltered story of the night Julia Roberts clashed with Jimmy Kimmel and changed the talk show game forever. Buckle up, because this is a roller coaster you won't forget. Fade in, the vibrant Jimmy Kimmel Live set, glowing with neon lights and a pulsing energy. The audience roars as Jimmy Kimmel, in a sleek suit, strides out for his monologue, his trademark smirk in place. It's a balmy October evening in Los Angeles 2025, and the El Capitan Entertainment Center is buzzing with anticipation. Jimmy Kimmel, the affable king of late-night comedy, is in his element, firing off jokes about viral trends, politics, and tonight's star guest, Julia Roberts. The crowd is electric, expecting a nostalgic celebration of the actress's storied career and her new project, a documentary series called Voices of Change, spotlighting grassroots activists. But backstage, the vibe is tense. Roberts' team is on edge, sensing something off. They've been promised a friendly chat about the documentary, a passion project close to Julia's heart. But whispers from Kimmel's producers hinted at a different agenda. Jimmy wanted to dig deeper, to challenge Roberts' public image as America's sweetheart. Was she the authentic activist she claimed to be? Or a Hollywood star leveraging causes for clout? Tonight, Kimmel was ready to test her limits. Cut to Kimmel at his desk, mid-monologue, his eyes gleaming with mischief. Jimmy Kimmel, energetic. "Folks, we've got a superstar in the house tonight. Julia Roberts, the queen of the rom-com, the queen of the Oscars, the queen of that million-dollar smile. Her new documentary series, Voices of Change, just dropped, and it's all about real people making a difference. But you know Julia, she's also all over X, tweeting about causes, posting about climate change, and chuckles, selling eco-friendly candles. Is there anything this woman can't do?" Enthusiastic. Give it up for Julia Roberts. Audience erupts in cheers. Camera pans to excited faces, some holding signs reading, "We love Julia," and others whispering eagerly. The audience is eating it up, laughing at Kimmel's playful jabs, but they're oblivious to the storm brewing. Sources later revealed that Kimmel and his team had spent days crafting questions to provoke Roberts, to peel back the layers of her polished persona. They wanted to question whether her activism was genuine or just a savvy rebrand for a new era. It was a bold move, but Kimmel thrived on pushing boundaries, or so he thought. Cut to Julia Roberts stepping onto the stage. The crowd leaps to its feet, roaring with applause. At 57, she's radiant, elegant in a tailored blazer and flowing skirt, her signature smile lighting up the room. She waves graciously, blows kisses to the crowd, and settles into the guest chair opposite Kimmel.
Julia Roberts, everybody. Welcome to Jimmy Kimmel Live. My gosh, Julia, you look incredible. Is it the activism, the candle business? What's the secret to that glow?
Smiling warmly, her voice rich with charm. "Well, Jimmy, it's probably a mix of good coffee, great friends, and believing in something bigger than yourself. Voices of Change has been a labor of love, and I'm just thrilled to be here talking about it." Audience claps warmly, charmed by her sincerity. Kimmel leans forward, his smile friendly, but with a hint of challenge.
I love that. Believing in something bigger. Now, Voices of Change is this powerful documentary series about everyday heroes. You're shining a light on activists, which is amazing. But some folks online, and I'm just quoting here, say it feels a bit, mind quote, convenient. Like, oh, Julia Roberts, the Hollywood star, is suddenly the face of activism. How do you respond to critics who say this is just a way to stay relevant?
The audience shifts uncomfortably, a few murmurs rippling through. Roberts' smile falters slightly, but her composure holds, her eyes glinting with a mix of surprise and defiance, with a soft laugh leaning back.
"Relevant? Jimmy, I've been in this industry for over 30 years. I've told stories that moved people from Pretty Woman to Erin Brockovich. I don't chase relevance. I tell stories that matter. Voices of Change isn't about me. It's about people fighting for justice, for the planet, for each other. If that's convenient, then I'm proud to be convenient.
Audience claps enthusiastically, some cheering loudly. Kimmel nods, undeterred, flipping through notes with a theatrical flourish.
That's a great answer, Julia. But let's talk about the now. You're all over X, championing causes, climate change, women's rights, you name it. Fans love the passion, but some say, is this the real Julia Roberts, or is this a carefully curated image? Like, are you an activist, or is this just Hollywood's version of activism?
The audience gasps softly, sensing the shift. Roberts leans forward, her smile tightening, but her voice remains steady. Julia Roberts firmly. Assertive, Jimmy. I've been using my platform to lift others up for decades. I don't need to curate an image. I live my values every day. I've marched, I've donated, I've listened to people who don't get a microphone. You think this is Hollywood fluff? Try sitting with families who've lost everything to a wildfire. Try amplifying voices that get ignored. That's not an image, that's who I am. Audience erupts in applause, some standing. Kimmel smiles, but his eyes betray a flicker of unease as he presses forward. The stage is set, and the tension is already crackling. Kimmel's probing, testing Roberts' patience, but the Oscar winner is holding her ground with grace and fire. The audience is captivated, unaware that Kimmel's next move will push this interview into dangerous territory, setting the stage for a confrontation that will leave everyone stunned. Close-up of Kimmel, his smile now more calculated, his fingers tapping the desk as he leans toward Roberts. Jimmy Kimmel, probing. Let's dive deeper into Voices of Change. It's a passion project, and you write about it with such heart. You also touch on your personal journey, your friendships, your family, your Hollywood highs and lows. One thing that stands out is your relationship with Erin Brockovich herself. You played her in the iconic film, but some reports suggest there was tension between you two after the movie. Can you clear that up? Julia Roberts, warmly reflective. Erin and I share a deep respect. Playing her was one of the greatest honors of my career. She's a force of nature, a real-life hero. We had our moments, sure, like any collaboration under pressure. But we've stayed in touch, and I admire her work more than ever. Voices of Change is inspired by people like her, real fighters. Audience claps softly, touched by the sincerity. Kimmel nods, but his expression shifts to something sharper, more probing. Jimmy Kimmel sharply. That's beautiful, Julia, really. But some of Erin's comments over the years, she's hinted that you didn't stay as connected as she'd hoped. There's even a quote floating around where she said, Julia got the Oscar, but I got the real fight. Some fans took that as shade, like you used her story for clout and moved on. What's your response to that? The studio falls deathly silent. A few gasps echo through the crowd. Roberts' jaw tightens, her eyes locking onto Kimmel's with an intensity that could cut glass. Julia Roberts, low voice. Furious, Jimmy, that's a cheap shot. And you know it, Erin and I have a private relationship, one built on mutual respect. Her fight is real, and I've never claimed otherwise. I used my platform to tell her story, to shine a light on her courage, and I won an Oscar for it because I poured my soul into it. To suggest I used her for clout, that's not just unfair, it's disrespectful to both of us. You want to twist her words for drama? That's your choice, but it's a low one. Audience murmurs, a mix of gasps and supportive claps. Kimmel raises his hands, playing innocent, but his smirk betrays his intent. Jimmy Kimmel, calmly, I hear you, Julia, and I'm just relaying what's out there. No offense meant. Let's pivot to your activism. You're vocal on X, climate change, social justice, women's rights. It's inspiring, but some critics say it feels performative. Like, oh, here's Julia Roberts, the movie star, jumping on the cause bandwagon. Probing, how do you handle that perception? The audience gasps louder, the tension now palpable. Roberts leans forward, her voice dropping to a dangerous measured calm. Julia Roberts, dangerous calm. You want to talk performative? Let's talk. I've been in this industry for over 30 years, telling stories that challenge, that inspire, that heal. I've used my voice to amplify causes long before it was trendy. Because it's who I am, not a role I play. Challenging. Performative? I've sat with activists, cried with families, put my money where my mouth is. You think that's a bandwagon? Try living it. Cutting. What about you, Jimmy? You crack jokes about serious issues every night. Is that your activism or just a way to fill airtime? Audience erupts in applause, some standing, others whispering in shock. Kimmel tries to interject, but Roberts holds up a hand, silencing him with the authority of a screen legend. Julia Roberts, contid, forceful. And let's be clear, this isn't about my documentary, accusing. You didn't invite me here to celebrate voices of change. You wanted a fight, a viral moment to boost your ratings. You thought you could poke at me and get a soundbite. Challenging. Well, you've got my attention now. So what's next? What other digs do you have lined up? The studio is electric, the audience hanging on every word. Kimmel hesitates, his confidence visibly shaken, but he pushes forward, determined to regain control. Jimmy Kimmel. Okay, Julia, you're bringing the heat. Probing. Let's talk about your ex-presence. That post last month about Hollywood's hypocrisy on climate change, it got a lot of traction but also backlash. Critics called you out saying a private jet flying star shouldn't lecture on carbon footprints. Slightly defensive. How do you handle that kind of criticism? Is it just part of the game? Julia Roberts, ice-cold tone. Criticism? Sarcastic. I welcome it, Jimmy. Dismissive. I'm not perfect. I've never claimed to be. Calmly defiant. I fly. I live. I'm human. But I also fund renewable energy projects, support grassroots movements, and call out hypocrisy when I see it, including my own industries. You want to call that a game? I call it accountability. What about you? You mock celebrities for their flaws, but when's the last time you turned the camera on yourself? Or is that too risky for the funny man? The audience gasps, then claps, a mix of cheers and nervous murmurs. Kimmel's smile falters, his hands gripping the desk as he tries to steer the conversation. Jimmy Kimmel. Whoa, Julia, let's keep this friendly. I'm just asking the questions people are talking about. That X post got what, 2 million views? You knew it'd stir the pot, right? That's the game, isn't it? Julia Roberts, voice rising, cutting through like a blade. You're crossing a line, Jimmy. I don't post for views. I post what I believe, what I've lived, what I've fought for. You want to talk about playing the game? Look at this show. You bait guests, you push buttons, all for your precious clicks and ad revenue. Don't lecture me about authenticity when you're orchestrating a circus for the cheap seats. The studio goes dead silent, the weight of Roberts' words sinking in. Kimmel's face reddens, his composure cracking like a shattered windshield. The audience holds its breath, sensing a turning point. This is where the interview shifts from tense to downright explosive. Julia Roberts isn't just defending herself, she's dismantling Kimmel's carefully crafted persona in front of a live audience and millions watching at home. The host is on the ropes, and the Hollywood icon is about to deliver a blow that will echo through television history. Wide shot of the set, the audience visibly tense, eyes darting between Roberts and Kimmel. The host tries to laugh it off, but his voice betrays his nerves, cracking slightly. Jimmy Kimmel. Julia, you're stealing the show here. I'm just doing my job, asking the tough questions. You're a superstar. You can handle a little heat, right? Julia Roberts, leaning forward, her voice like tempered steel. Your job? Your job is to entertain, Jimmy, not to ambush. You invited me here under false pretenses, promising a chat about voices of change, about stories that matter. Instead, you've thrown every cheap shot you could muster. My friendships, my activism, my integrity. You wanted a spectacle, a viral clip to boost your numbers. Well, congratulations, you've got one. But be careful what you wish for, because I don't play games I didn't sign up for. Audience gasps, then erupts in applause, some standing in solidarity. Kimmel tries to pivot, his hands fidgeting with his notes. Julia Roberts, continue. You want to talk authenticity? Let's talk about you. You sit behind this desk, playing the lovable everyman, the guy next door with a joke for everything. But it's an act, isn't it? You're a performer, just like me, crafting a persona for the cameras, assertive. The difference is, I own who I am. Every choice, every cause, every tweet. Accusatory. You hide behind your monologue, your laugh track, and call it truth. Who's the performer now, Jimmy? The audience roars, a mix of cheers and shocked murmurs. Kimmel's face flushes, his hands trembling as he grips the desk, his usual charm replaced by raw vulnerability. Jimmy Kimmel. Flustered. That's a bit harsh, Julia. I'm not the one selling eco-candles while preaching about saving the planet. You're a legend, no question, but don't act like you're above scrutiny. Slightly annoyed. This is a talk show, not a tribute to Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts. Standing now, her voice booming, commanding the room like a courtroom scene, indignant. Scrutiny? This isn't scrutiny. It's a witch hunt, passionate. You've spent this entire interview trying to paint me as some hypocritical Hollywood diva, chasing clout with causes. But let me tell you something, Jimmy. I've faced critics tougher than you my entire career. Studios, tabloids, cynics, and I'm still standing. Why? Because I'm not afraid of the truth. I've lived it, fought for it, earned it. I've put my heart into stories that change lives, into causes that outlast headlines. Challenging. Can you look me in the eye and say you've done the same? The audience leaps to its feet, cheering thunderously, the room shaking with energy. Kimmel stares, mouth agape, struggling to find words. The band plays a nervous riff, but it's drowned out by the crowd's roar. Jimmy Kimmel, forcing a chuckle. Voice cracking. Okay, Julia, you're giving me a masterclass in intensity here. Nervous. Let's cool things down. Maybe talk about something lighter. Your documentary, maybe? It's doing amazing things. Julia Roberts, still standing, unrelenting, firmly. No, Jimmy, you started this fire. Don't try to douse it now. Intense. You've questioned everything, my friendships, my activism, my legacy. So let me ask you something. When's the last time you took a real risk? Not a scripted jab, not a safe quip for your audience's applause. When's the last time you stood for something knowing it could cost you everything? Your show, your reputation, your comfort? Because I've done that my whole life. Challenging. Can you say the same? The studio is silent, the weight of Robert's words hanging heavy. Kimmel stares, speechless, his eyes darting to the audience, then back to Roberts. The crowd is frozen, sensing a historic moment unfolding. Julia Roberts was gratulatinous face. Now Jimmy Kimmel shares to our, the beginning dustionarity and cook me to begin. A rooming rest of a your save, so long. Shares what? They're inside the perks of question pro to? Jimmy mean. The biggest mandulum, he's Julia rest. Also, will Lyra Lubin for that, doing this, standing a fleshing scene. Mummerthis, I suppose with this GDM GMs me. The sole private text for the guy perstroring, held to my intervention, exposing Kimmel's vulnerabilities in front of millions. The host is cornered, his carefully curated image. Jimmy Kimmel. Julia, I respect you, truly. This got out of hand and maybe I pushed too far. I'm sorry if it felt like an ambush. Can we reset, talk about voices of change? It's such an inspiring project. Julia Roberts, sitting back down but still commanding the stage, her voice steady and powerful. Don't backpedal now, Jimmy. You wanted real? Here's real. I've spent my career telling stories that matter, lifting up voices that don't get heard. I've taken risks you can't imagine. Betting on films no one believed in, speaking out when it wasn't popular, putting my heart into causes that don't come with a red carpet. I've earned every step of this journey. Can you look me in the eye and say you've lived with that kind of courage? Audience claps, many standing, their applause swelling into a roar. Kimmel nods slowly, swallowing hard, his bravado completely gone. Jimmy Kimmel, quietly, almost whispering, "You're right, Julia, I haven't. Not like you. You've lived a life most of us can only dream of, taken risks I can't fathom. I got carried away tonight and I'm sorry. Truly, you're a legend for a reason." The audience gasps, then claps softly, a mix of awe and respect rippling through the room. Roberts nods, her expression softening slightly, but her presence remains commanding. Julia Roberts, apology accepted, Jimmy. But let this be a lesson. Don't come for someone's heart unless you're ready to face their fire. I came here to talk about voices of change, about people who deserve to be heard. You turned it into a circus. I'm done playing along. Roberts stands, removes her microphone and walks off the set. The audience gasps, then erupts into a standing ovation, the theater shaking with applause. Kimmel sits, stunned, his hands frozen on the desk. The band plays a frantic riff as the show cuts to commercial. In that moment, Julia Roberts didn't just win an argument, she redefined her legacy. Jimmy Kimmel, stripped of his armor, was left speechless as Roberts walked off, leaving the stage and the audience in awe. But the fallout from this night was only beginning, as the world watched in shock. Montage of X posts, YouTube clips, and news headlines. Julia Roberts walks off Kimmel's show after epic takedown. Kimmel speechless after Roberts' clapback. Julia Roberts proves she's unstoppable at 57. Viral clips rack up tens of millions of views, with fans memeing Roberts' "Don't come for someone's heart" line into oblivion. The internet ignited like a wildfire. Within hours, Julia Roberts' walk-off was everywhere. X, YouTube, TikTok, even global news outlets. Hashtags like Julia versus Kimmel, Queen Julia, and Don't Mess with Aaron trended worldwide, with fans hailing Roberts as a hero for her unyielding defense of her integrity. Comment sections overflowed with praise. Julia still got that fire. Kimmel got wrecked. Critics were divided. Some called it a masterclass in standing her ground. Others argued Roberts was too sensitive. Jimmy issued a statement on X. "I pushed too hard, and Julia reminded me why she's a legend. Respect." But the damage was done. Jimmy Kimmel Live's ratings dipped, with viewers calling Kimmel's ambush tasteless and unfair. Cut to Roberts at a Voices of Change screening, mobbed by fans chanting, "Julia! Julia!" She poses with activists featured in the documentary, her smile radiant, her resolve unshaken. For Julia Roberts, this wasn't just a viral moment. It was a triumph of epic proportions. At 57, she proved she still got the grace, a pioneer, and a heart to fight for anyone who dares challenge her legacy. Voices of Change soared in viewership, breaking streaming records and earning critical acclaim. Her X following grew by millions, with fans young and old celebrating her unapologetic strength. As for Jimmy Kimmel, he's back to hosting, but insiders say he's been more cautious, wary of sparking another talk show clash war. The night of October 2025 didn't just shake the El Capitan Theater. It shook the cultural zeitgeist, reminding the world that Julia Roberts is no mere celebrity. She's a force, a legend who refuses to be dimmed. Slow zoom on a black and white photo of Roberts as Vivian Ward in Pretty Woman, fading into a recent image of her, radiant at 45. This wasn't just a talk show meltdown. It's a testament to courage, resilience, and authenticity. Julia Roberts didn't just walk off Jimmy Kimmel's stage. She walked into history, turning an ambush into a masterclass in standing tall, speaking truth, and owning her legacy. At 55, she's not a legend. She's unstoppable, a story that burns brighter than ever. Upbeat, music kicks in, a montage of our iconic roles, Aaron, Vivian, Tess, Ocean, Julia Roberts, blending seamlessly with clips of our showdown. Our legend's logo glows on screen, pulsing with energy. What did you think of this epic throwdown? Julia Roberts was justified in walking away from Jimmy Kimmel's show? Or did you cross a line that deserved a response? Our hottest takes are in the comments below you. We're reading every single one, and we want to hear yours. If you love this fiery dive into one of TV history's greatest moments, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss another epic breakdown. We've got more drama, more fire, more stories, and more unforgettable moments coming your way. Julia Roberts, stay bold, stay true, and always, always own your fire.